Welcome to this explainer. We've got a fascinating medical mystery to solve today, one that perfectly bridges diet, metabolism, and your gallbladder health. If you spent your 20s, 30s, or even your 40s eating a low-fat, high-carbohydrate diet, and then recently overhauled your lifestyle only to be totally surprised by an unexpected medical scan, well, this one is absolutely for you. We're going to look at the fascinating mechanics of your body to understand what is really happening right beneath the surface.
Okay, let's dive straight into this. Picture this, it's 2026. You've recently made a massive metabolic shift to a high-fat, low-carb lifestyle. And suddenly, boom, an ultrasound reveals gallstones. Your immediate and honestly entirely understandable anxiety is, wait, did my new diet actually cause these? It's a primary concern for so many people making this shift, and the answer is rooted in some truly eye-opening biology.
So here is our clinical chart for today. 1. The dietary shift mystery. 2. How gallstones actually form. 3. Waking up the gallbladder. 4. Reading your lab results. And 5. Early prevention strategies.
Section 1. The dietary shift mystery. Investigating the sudden appearance of symptoms.
So you get your ultrasound results back, and you see this highly intimidating quote. Several mobile, intense level shadowing echoes are seen intraluminally. Wow, sounds alarming, doesn't it? But let's actually translate that medical jargon into normal, accessible terms. All this really means is that there are stones, specifically measuring between 0.3 and 0.9 centimeters, just sitting inside the gallbladder, casting little acoustic shadows on the ultrasound machine. But the absolute keyword here is mobile. These stones have suddenly woken up, packed their bags, and are shifting around. But where did they come from?
Section 2. How gallstones actually form. The long-term impact of eating low-fat.
Let's look at this timeline, because those 0.3 to 0.9 centimeter gallstones absolutely do not appear overnight. No way. If you spent your 20s, 30s, and 40s following that conventional low-fat, high-carbohydrate dietary advice, you were unknowingly setting the stage. For decades, frequent insulin spikes and a total lack of dietary fat left your gallbladder with zero work to do. It literally just sat idle. By years 10 to 20, the bile inside that idle gallbladder became hyper-concentrated, slowly crystallizing into the iceberg of stones you're seeing today. So it's actually a long, silent metabolic history.
So the crucial point here is understanding something called bile stasis. Think of it like a stagnant pond. When your diet lacks healthy fats, there's just no signal for the gallbladder to contract and keep the waters flowing. That idle, sluggish environment is the true villain that creates stones over years and years. It is fundamentally an issue of underuse, not overuse.
Section 3. Waking up the gallbladder. The mechanical changes of a low-carb protocol.
Now let's meet the star player, cholecystokinin, or CCK for short. Think of CCK as a strict drill sergeant. When you eat dietary fat, this hormone acts as a direct command, yelling at your gallbladder to contract forcefully and squeeze out bile. When you shifted to a fat-adapted low-carb protocol in late 2025, you drastically changed the mechanical demands on your biliary system by suddenly summoning this exact hormone.
And this brilliantly illustrates the contrast. On the left, we have the low-fat diet of your past. The gallbladder sits idle, the bile stagnates, and stones quietly form. But on the right, your new high-fat diet. Imagine drinking your morning cocoa with some butter and MCT oil. Suddenly, massive amounts of CCK are triggered. Your gallbladder, which has essentially been asleep for 20 years, is suddenly forced off the couch to sprint. It wakes up and contracts vigorously. It is finally squeezing.
Which leads us to this vital realization. Your new diet did not create these stones. Because your gallbladder is finally contracting with real force again, those hidden crystals are just shifting around, making their presence known on an ultrasound. The new diet is the revealer, not the creator.
Section 4. Reading your lab results. Why the data is highly reassuring.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how perfectly healthy these numbers are. Look at the top two liver enzymes, ALT at 27.80 and AST at 28.40. Those are solidly normal, showing pristine liver function. Now, the ALP and total bilirubin do show a very mild upward movement, but honestly, this is simply a reflection of your liver working against the slight resistance of a gallbladder that contains stones. It shows absolutely zero clinical blockage and zero toxicity. Your liver is handling this beautifully, no need to panic at all.
And the ultrasound specifics completely confirm this reassuring picture. There's no wall thickening, which definitively rules out cholecystitis or acute dangerous inflammation. Your common bile duct measures a perfect 0.3 centimeters, and there's no dilation in the intrahepatic ducts. Basically, this means that none of those mobile stones are blocking any exit tubes. The plumbing is completely clear.
Section 5. Early Prevention Strategies. How to keep bile flowing smoothly.
So how do we prevent more issues early on? Here are your actionable early prevention strategies. Step 1. Maintain a consistent fat intake. You literally must eat healthy fats to ensure your gallbladder empties completely. Consistent fat stops bile stagnation before it even starts. Step 2. Keep your hydration and electrolytes high to physically thin out that concentrated bile. These are your essential early maintenance steps to keep things moving.
And touching on that second point, your recent lab shows sodium at 142.60 and potassium at 4.30. Honestly, these are the gold standard. Maintaining these exact levels is your absolute best early defense, ensuring overall fluids stay up, actively supporting smooth bile flow naturally, and preventing new stones from crystallizing in the future.
Let's summarize our core message with this one key takeaway. Your high-fat diet did not create the stones. It simply forced your gallbladder to start working harder. It merely shined a huge spotlight on a pre-existing condition, a foundation of bile stasis that was quietly built over decades of low-fat eating.
Which leaves us with this final thought. Now that your gallbladder is finally awake, actively contracting, and functioning exactly as it was designed to, how will you fuel it to keep things flowing smoothly for the decades to come? The power to manage your metabolic health is entirely in your hands, right on your plate. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep asking those great questions.